In this video, I'm celebrating my 10-year anniversary. It might be a little bit indulgent, and I'm gonna make an incredible dish you're not gonna wanna miss. And in fact, I'm gonna show it a couple different ways, what you can do with this. Last month, I celebrated my 10 years of not eating animals. I've actually never felt better. Since I've moved up here to Vermont, I've found that it's super hard to eat out, at least where I live. I don't have a lot of places I can go to that serve a good veg-forward meal, and it's kind of sad. There are very few options, and the ones I've seen, they're just not very thoughtful. And I'm not gonna drop 20 or 30 bucks on a dinner that I could make much better at home. The day I left my position as Whole Foods global chef, I went vegan because I couldn't be vegan while I had that job because I worked across all departments. So today, I'm gonna share one of my favorite dishes that is packed with flavor, and it's a treat. It's something that I would like to get if I go out. I have 2 onions here, and I'm just gonna cut them in half, both of them. And then we're just gonna julienne these. And I like to do it thin as I can do it. Right into a sauce pot. So this is a medium sauce pot. That's one. Same for both. I'm gonna put that on a smaller burner. We're gonna cook it on low and slow. And I like to start these off not in a hot pan because I do not want to sear them right away. I want them to slowly melt down, translucent, and then they'll start to caramelize. If you use a hot pan, it'll just automatically sear the exterior of the onion and then make it brown too fast, and more likely I'll end up burning it that way. And then I'm also gonna use the flame tamer. So these, I mentioned in a lot of these videos, I just bought this off of Amazon. It's not too much, but it helps me cook and not burn things, because I'm always running around the house doing things while I'm cooking, especially if I'm home, because I'm not in a restaurant anymore. And I don't want to burn things. So put that on there, and then I can raise the heat just a little bit, but that's going to be low and slow. And I do have to add some fat to this. So I have about 3/4 of a stick of plant-based butter, and I'm gonna use maybe this much. I'm just gonna add that right in on the top, not on the bottom. Because as it goes, it'll slowly melt the fat, and then that fat will help caramelize it. Now this takes a little bit of a process, and we're not gonna do a runaround. This is a treat meal for me. This is a celebration for myself, so I'm gonna make it the best I can. And by caramelizing onions the right way, I'll get the most flavor out of them. And it's just gonna be super delicious. For the sauce, I want as much flavor as I can possibly get out of it. And because I'm gonna be using mushrooms, I'm also gonna try to use, well, I am going to use some dried mushrooms. And these are dried shiitakes. You can buy these pretty much anywhere, Asian grocers, regular grocery stores, 1, 2, 3, maybe 6 mushrooms. So I'm gonna need to boil some water. And while that's boiling, I'll just pop them in here for now. So there's 3 cups of water in here. It's a 4-cup container, or 750 milliliters. Had I thought ahead of time, I'd have done it overnight because you get the most flavor that way, but this will be fine. Tip about the caramelized onions, I can hear them sizzling. You hear that? That's a good sign. And I'm really tempted to stir it, but I'm not until I see this butter start to melt. It's really just a matter of patience making caramelized onions the correct way. I'm not gonna add any salt yet, not yet anyways, or any other seasonings until I start seeing them reduce a little bit. And it does take some patience. and I sure could work on a lot of that. We're gonna make mashed potatoes, and I filled this about, a couple inches worth of water. And then we have potatoes. I have 1 sweet potato because I'm gonna do a little bit of a mix. And then I have 2, 4, 6, 8 gold potatoes, different sizes. And the way I like to peel them, I'm not gonna peel all of them, but I am gonna peel the bigger ones because I don't mind having the skins in them. But if I go to a restaurant and it's not like a country style mashed or red potatoes or whatnot, I usually expect to have peeled potatoes. Most of the restaurants buy peeled potatoes pre-packed, at least the ones that are, not so independent. The bigger ones, I'm just gonna peel. You can peel them however you like. I tend to, I used to peel a lot of potatoes when I was younger. So I learned how to do it pretty quick. We could do it faster, we could do it slow, you could do it however you want. But we're just gonna get these peeled, these bigger ones. Because that's good for the white ones. And then we'll just do the sweet. Boom, boom. And I like to do everything on a piece of parchment, or you could use salt pad, whatever you want. But then I can easily just pop this into the compost. And I can use it later. I'm gonna cut them in half. And then half again, however you want to do it, large chunks, medium chunks, small chunks. I try to do them all the same. Same with the sweet potato. And you notice right away the sweet potato is a bit harder. So when you get all that done, I'm just gonna need to top it off with a little bit of water just to make sure they're all submerged. And this is a lot of potatoes. This is, it's way too much for just 1 or 2 meals, but I like mashed potatoes, so I'm making extra. And if ever I'm making things that I know I'm gonna have for later, I'll just make extra because I'll eat them over the next couple days with different meals. And maybe I'll be able to show another meal at the end of this. Crank that on. And that's gonna be on a medium high heat. Again, caramelized onions, mashed potatoes. I don't mind if these things finish earlier, but I do wanna be aware and be mindful of the timing of the dinner. See the onions, the butter is melted, and now I'm gonna stir it. And we'll see what it looks like. It's still not brown, see? So I didn't have to stir it yet. This is really a slow process. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt now because that'll help draw out the water from the onion. And we'll get on with the next thing. I'm gonna use probably one of my favorite ingredients of all time to work with, and that's gonna be the main part of my dinner. And these are brown oyster mushrooms. I have a boom room I'm gonna be setting up over there pretty soon that I got from North Spore. Did pick these up at a local supermarket. So Shaw's actually carried them. Give those a shout out. I think it was like $5.99 a pound, so I got these. So all I wanna do is take off this little small bit, because this is the toughest bit. And it's also the part that was attached to the substrate. So I'm just gonna carve it off. Tip, safe way is always knife away from you. Very rarely, if ever, should you cut towards yourself, because it's just not safe. So I'm just gonna cut that little bit off. That's it for waste on that one. Because if you cut too far, it'll all fall apart. And that's what I do not want. I want one beautiful piece that's what's gonna make the steaks. So we have those cut up, and just to give you an update, this is the shiitake, the dashi, and they're nice and soft, so we'll be able to do that. Once it cools down and I can handle these, we'll work with them. Okay, so whenever pressing mushrooms, to be as detailed as I can be, I've done loads of videos about this technique. Probably one of my most copied techniques out there is to cook and make mushrooms into steaks. The best way to do it. So I use a cast iron pan, I use 2. You could use whatever for the pressing, but always make sure the bottom is clean, whatever you're doing. I already wiped this down earlier, but just as a tip, I'm gonna get this heat on, and I'm gonna get that onto a medium-high heat. And as that heats up, for this, I'm just gonna use I have some steak seasoning. I'm not gonna show the brand. It's whatever brand you want. I got this in Texas, so I got it from H-E-B, which I do miss that store. So it's just like a steak seasoning, and all it has in it is black pepper, salt, garlic granulators, granulated, onion granulated, smoked paprika, spices. That's it. It's just a steak seasoning you would season regular steak with. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of oil, douse that around the pan. So while that's heating up though, I did forget, and I will not forget, but I'm going to add a good pinch of salt to the potatoes. Maybe 2. We're gonna be straining most of this water off, so just to help that along a little bit. The onions are coming out nicely, still not brown, still just melting down. It smells beautiful. And I'm gonna start the mushrooms because I'm gonna be marinating them after, so it's okay if we do this. I could get this I could have done the mushrooms first and prepped it up and just had it marinated for a while. You could have it marinated overnight, and so then you could do the caramelized onions and the mushrooms the day before, potatoes the day of. If you're cooking for more, this is a great date night food. If you have somebody you want to impress, or your parents are coming over, or your meathead friends are coming over, whatever you want. When I start these mushrooms, I always do it with bottom side down first because I want these parts to cook the most. And I try to angle these where the heat's gonna go. So always conscious of the heat. And if it's going up to the side like this gas is, it's going up to the side, it's not in the middle. This isn't an induction, it's gas. I'm gonna add them like this. Both. And then I just let them get used to the pan. Hello, hey, how you doing, pan? What's going on? Yeah, good. As that gets used to it, I want it to start to sear before I press them. I want a little bit of caramelization before I force the water out, because once I start forcing that water out of the mushroom, it's not gonna sear. So I wanna sear it and get that flavor. And then that sear, that caramelization, the small bit will start flavoring the liquids that come out of the mushroom and just keep going back and forth into them. This is as detailed as I can get in how I think about making these amazing mushroom steaks. You can see it's starting to sear, it's starting to get brown. See, it's starting to get brown a little bit. That's what I'm looking for. I am gonna add a little bit of oil. You're gonna wanna keep your oil handy. Remember, there's no fat in mushrooms. They're very freaking little. So I have to add it because at the end of this, I want that mouthfeel and texture. So I'm gonna press these now. So if I'm just gonna rest it on here and let it slowly get used to the pan, I have to be careful because my stovetop is very slippery. I'm just gonna let it sit there. And that's gonna help it even out the heat and the searing so it's really seared evenly through the whole mushroom. And I'll slowly apply a little bit of pressure and try not to get this thing to slip on top of it. I saw a few comments, people asking, why do you make things look and taste like meat if you don't eat meat? Why don't you just eat vegetables? I didn't give up eating meat because I didn't like the taste of meat. I gave up eating meat because I don't think it's right to kill animals. I love my dog and any animals, all animals out there. I can see into their eyes. They all have feelings. I'll share the link below and why I became vegan. You know, mine is all about associating my losses and tragedies and grief with the suffering of all beings. So that includes animals. In my positions that I've had and the jobs that I've had, especially when I was traveling a lot and working at Whole Foods, I went into a lot of slaughterhouses, and you do not unsee that stuff. I do not like it. I didn't like it. And that's why I became vegan right after that job. You know, some people can handle it. I can't. I don't want to handle it. I want to practice compassion and being kind If there's one thing I can do, because there's so much we can't do and we see that happening around in the world, the one thing I can do is control what I put into my mouth. And I'm not trying to force anybody to eat a certain way or do this. I mean, I would love it if everybody went and stopped killing animals. But this is just my opinion, my point of view. And if it helps, I'm very happy to be of help. So as this goes, I need another towel. Always have two towels. One you're going to be wiping off the bottom with, because it's going to form a little bit of condensation. And you notice I didn't press too hard on that. And the sear is getting much nicer, much more. This one's a little bit looser, and that's looking good. So now I'm going to go for round 2 of press. First one's nice and light, just letting it get used to the pan, get acquainted. Now it's like, hey, we know each other. Let's really get into it. So now I'm going to apply a lot more pressure. I know it's hard to see the pressure I'm putting, even on the close-up, but I'm pushing down in like waves, just push, slow. As soon as it'll pass a threshold where all the liquid will start coming out of the mushroom and you won't hear any more sizzling. We'll see if that happens. But whatever mushroom's the biggest and most thickest is where you're going to push the hardest on. See that? So now I'm going to flip these. Look at that sear. That's going to be flipped. And same with this one. Might add a little bit more oil just to make sure nothing's going to stick to the pan. Can you do it with no oil? You can. If I'm going to eat this and make this, I'm eating it because I want the indulgent part of it. I do. There's a video in the Mushroom Masterclass playlist on my page that has a no oil versus oil if you're interested in that, if that's your thing. And I'm just going to set that on there and let that sit. I see that I have a lot of people my age and maybe a little bit older than me that watch this and that are learning, and thank you for being here. If you go on to my page, like you click the icon and you go onto my page and then you scroll down a little bit, whether you're on your TV or on your computer, there's playlists, right? But the one that says videos, that's the one in chronological order, because I have a lot of people asking me, oh, you made that and I can't find it. Anyways, I hope that's helpful. Seared now on both sides, not too much. Now is when I'm going to season them, after the pressing, because I don't want that just gets lost on the pans if you add too much seasoning before then. Pour some into my hand here. A little bit of seasoning on this side. Flip it, flip it. Do like the smell when you start putting seasoning on these things. It just immediately smells delicious. A bowl or a container of some sort. Just gonna add the mushrooms right to it. And then, like always, take it over the sink. Quick rinse, a little bit of oil, not olive oil. Wipe that out. And underneath. And then ready for the next time. I'm gonna use a couple of cloves of garlic. And for the garlic, I'm just gonna smash them both and quick chop. A little bit of salt. Just smash that salt right into it. So that, just to kind of mince it, macerate it right in. The fresh thyme. I went and bought some real cheap red wine because I don't drink, but I like to use it in cooking a little bit. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of red wine here, a little bit of oil. Put that over around. Some black pepper. Marinate it however you like. Then I'm just gonna set this aside. Check in on the onions. Now they're slowly starting to stick to the pan, but you can see they're just, like some of them is just starting to get brown. Potatoes are looking great. They're not done yet. These came out good. They're looking good. Take them out of here. And I'm just gonna squeeze the water out of these things as much as you can. Just squeeze them tight. It's just all the flavor in that mushroom. And then I'm just gonna add this right back to it. You can use a knife. You can use scissors. Cutting, this is the stem part. It's the hardest part on there. It's not very fun to chew, not in the dried mushrooms anyways. So I just remove that, add it to the compost. Dried mushrooms are a really great way to get some extra umami in and using the broth. Okay, so once you get all these out, I'm just gonna add these to the compost. Slice these as thin as possible. I like to stack them up a little bit. Thin, 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 as thin as possible. So now, this is starting to look really good. It's starting to get really brown. I'm just gonna keep scraping the edges off, scraping that brownness off of the pan. That is where all the flavor is, all that caramelized flavor. I'd add a touch more olive oil at this point, glug or two around, because we're not there yet. It's coming, it just takes a while. So another thing I'm gonna add to this is some Swiss chard, and I got this at the grocery store as well. These things are expensive. I think this was $5 or $6 for a bunch. And it's not that big of a bunch. Yes, it's organic, but it's just kind of ridiculous to pay that much for greens. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. I'm gonna cut off the bottom parts here. So the thicker stems, I'm gonna shave off just the ends. I'm gonna try not to waste any of it. The stalks, I'm just gonna cut these first, and then that's gonna go in a bowl. I'm gonna boil some water. And then this, the rest of it, just gonna give a quick chop. The hot water going. Now these are just the stems, so I'm just gonna add the hot water to that. And because it's charred, and it doesn't take a lot to cook the leaves at all, like I normally wouldn't do that, but I want to blanch those stems a little bit. I will take a strainer, and then I'm just gonna add, get this out of my way for a second. I'm just gonna add these to the strainer. I'm gonna strain through the greens. And it'll just wilt it lightly. And then I have that. Now these are ready to sear when I'm ready to do it. Now they're really starting to brown up. So this is looking perfect. It looks good, it smells delicious. It still comes off the bottom of the pan very easily, but it's nice and brown. Look at that. I'm gonna add now a little bit of sherry. And I don't have a lot, I might add like 1/4 cup. That'll give it some nice flavor. I'm gonna let that cook off, so I don't want that alcohol on there. I want it to cook off. I chopped up 2 cloves of garlic. I'm just adding that right in, and I'll saute that for a minute. Now these smell absolutely delicious. The broth, the mushroom broth, just gonna add that right to this. And we're gonna let this reduce. So our potatoes are ready to be strained. I'm gonna take you with me. I use the lid. You do not have to do this. You can use a colander. But I just do it like this, dump, then I know that's how much water I want in it. Whatever's left in there after I gave it a good shake. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna add a bit of salt because there's none in there. I'm also gonna add a pinch of black pepper. I'm gonna add nooch. So in the last video, people were asking, nutritional yeast, that's nooch. People have been asking me, oh, what kind do you get? Well, this is it. I don't know who they are. It's just organic nutritional yeast flakes. It's like $22 for 2 pounds. It's expensive otherwise. If you buy it in the smaller containers at the retailers, I find it too expensive. So I buy it bulk all the time because of how much I use. So I'm just gonna take this, and this is gonna be up to you, how much you like nutritional yeast. This is a tablespoon, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do 5. 5 tablespoons. And then my secret ingredient. This isn't the secret ingredient, but I'm gonna use a 1/4 stick of butter. You go to any restaurant, and I guarantee they're putting pounds of butter and cream in them. So I do not feel bad doing it as a plant-based thing. I'm gonna add a tablespoon or 2 of this Forager's yogurt. It's plain, it's organic, it's unsweetened, and it makes it creamy. It's one of my kitchen staples that I have in here all the time. And then I'm just gonna slowly mash this baby. Slowly. so it doesn't get everywhere. Now it's perfect consistency. It's not too wet. It's nice. I'll add like one big sweet potato to this. There's a lot of water in that sweet potato, and also the flavor in it just makes a really nice consistency. Plus it's different than just regular white potato. I'll just do a quick stir. Yes, it's rustic. It's not super whipped smooth, but that's fine. This is for me. So taste it. God, so good. That's why I make so much of it, because it's so freaking good. Save this. And the next thing, tasting this. Because I have to figure out if it needs more seasoning. We'll taste it first. And oh, but I have a little bit of white pepper, so just a little sprinkle. That's like a 1/4 teaspoon. And then a bit more salt. And a bit black pepper. And then I want to thicken it a little bit because we're going to make it a gravy. A gravy. We're going to do it a gravy. Like 1 teaspoon of cornstarch, and I'm going to add some cold water to it. So I added about the same amount of water, not much, just enough. So I'm just going to dissolve that with my fingers. Try to keep it in the bowl. Drizzle that right in and stir it. And we'll let that cornstarch cook out for another few minutes. And I'll put that on low. I'm going to put the flame tamer under it, and that's going to cook out. We're getting close. Last but not least, let's finish up these mushrooms. For the mushrooms, there's one more step I have to do because I want to do these ones a little bit differently. These, thyme, I'm going to add right to the onions and not waste that. Mushrooms right here. And then I'm just going to brush this marinade because it's not an animal product. There's no cross-contamination. I'm adding this little bit of red wine, a little bit of oil and garlic and thyme to the caramelized onions. And I'm going to stir that in. It'll just be flavor. And now this is just on super low. I have some cornstarch, and I'm just going to light dust with a little bit of cornstarch. I'm going to flip it over and do the same with the other side. Just a light dusting. It's almost like coating a donut. I'm going to crank this on and get this pan nice and hot. So those sliced shiitakes, I'm just going to add them right to the onion as well. I mean, why not, right? Be a nice little addition. A little shiitake caramelized onion gravy. If you didn't want to go through all that trouble with the shiitake broth, that 2 River mushroom broth that I've been using in the past couple videos, you could use it right here in this gravy with the caramelized onions. It'd be delicious and save you some time. I'm not sponsored this video, but it is, it does me a disservice if I don't tell you the best and easiest ways to do it. So the lion's mane and the chaga one would work really well with this. So once this pan is hot, I'm going to add a little bit of oil, just enough to coat the bottom of the pan. So now I'm just going to add this. So I want to fry these completely. I'm just going to flip it over. That cornstarch is going to give it a nice crispy skin. And I am going to pop this in the oven because I still need to do the greens. So I preheated my oven to 375 degrees. I'm cooking like I'm at a restaurant right now. Like I said, to make it easier, you could do a lot of these stuff ahead of time. You could have the caramelized onion gravy just done ahead and waiting. You could have your mashed potatoes ready. You don't have to do this extra step. You don't even have to coat it with cornstarch. It's good to go the way I did it before adding the cornstarch. Then you just reheat it and add it. But I'm looking for next level up. Level up. I want the best flavor. I'm treating myself. This is going to be great. I'm going to show it a couple different ways what you can do with this. I'm just going to pop them on to this parchment paper. And this will finish in the oven or just keep it hot for me. Because rather than wasting this little bit of oil that I have in here, I'm going to add the greens right to it. These are going to be super simple. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Swiss chard, like all the other greens. The only tip I have is to make sure you cook the stems. a little bit more. So that's why I blanched them first. Once these greens are done, so this is it. It looks amazing. Super psyched. Happy anniversary to me. Let's just cut this. Bon appetit. Oh, amazing. Wow, it's so good. My favorite part is eating it. If you want to treat yourself, definitely less expensive than going out, and probably better than you can get at any restaurant that I'm aware of. It for sure is delicious here. The mushroom is so tender and juicy, easy to chew, and just flavorful. Like from the sear, the crispy skin, I really like that. It just bumps it up a notch. And the potatoes, like super creamy, like super delicious. The sweet potato just adds that slight sweetness to it. I love it. And the greens are good. Big fan of greens. If I can eat greens with every meal. Okay. And these, I used the Beyond Meat brat sausages. They're lovely bangers and mash. A little nod to my UK friends. And then the next day, I had it as this amazing caramelized onion steak sandwich. And I put a little bit of mashed potatoes on the bun. I'm not gonna bite that sandwich, but I am gonna try this. And I'm a big fan of Beyond Meat. I'm a big fan of these next generation proteins. I think they make it super simple, super easy. And whatever crap you wanna say about ultra processed, whatever. Animal products are ultra processed to me. Nobody accounts for all the crap they put in them before they even get butchered. But the main thing for me, oh, yeah, I know, we don't like that, Frankie. We don't like killing animals. Totally different flavor profile, delicious, and worth it. If you want an easy way to do it this way. Just sear off the sausages, pop them in the oven, make all the rest of the stuff we did. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please check out these videos here, because I have a lot more coming up, a lot in the bank. Yeah, if you got any requests, let me know down in the comments. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you for being kind and all your kind comments and kind to each other. We need a lot more of that in the world right now. Take care. We'll see you soon.